Welcome back, everybody. Here we are with issue 16, and we're going to see what comes about. So, in this issue, we're going to learn about the YT 1760 and all of the stuff about it, apparently. Let's see here. Ooh, we're going to talk about Hoth and the ice field specifically. Looks like some of the cold weather gear and whatnot for it. Looks like we'll be talking a little bit about the snow speeders. Ooh, now we're going to talk about the Falcon's layout and how that's different, I'm guessing, from a normal YT 1300. So that should be interesting. That will provide a lot of insight. And so we'll probably spend a little bit of time on this one. And because as we all know, it is heavily modified, right? So that was one of the things we know that Han Solo did. So here is the part that we really want to talk about, and that's what we're going to be doing in this issue. So let's go ahead and bring out the stuff. So we have some screws here. We have part of the corridor. We have some hull plating, some framework, and this looks to be some of the decking for the corridor. So of course we're going to need to paint this, and I kind of need to know where this corridor is. I think this is the corridor that is going to be on, so you can see I'm missing the walls here. I'm actually painting the two bump outs that I built. The paint's actually on them now. I'm just waiting for it to dry. But I'm guessing this is going to be on this corridor here, because let's just go ahead and get this stuff out of the way here. And it's important to know this because this corridor, so I think this corridor is this one here, because we've got the entrance to the turrets, and then we've got the entrance to the cockpit passage tube, and that's this here. I don't believe any of the other corridors that we're going to be working on, which is this is the only other one that we're going to work on. And then of course we build this little part right here, but I don't believe there are any others that's going to have two entrances or any other entrances. So this is important, and I will show you why in a little while. But let's go ahead and get back to this. So let's see what we got to do. So it looks like we're going to be also using these pieces from the previous episode, or not episode, but previous issue, where this was part of issue 15, the parts for it. And so we need to put those together. So we've got 3 of those we got to put together. And then we've got to put the floor onto the corridor itself. And then we put the rings on. So let's see what else we're going to do. So yeah, as you put the rings on, so you're going to have this here. And then we're actually going to put this piece onto the rest of our framework. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll pull that together and see how that goes. I think for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I need to prime these because I'm actually using the primer as the paint color for these. So the paint is fine as far as the color goes. I don't mind the color. The primer that I'm using isn't much different than this. But what I want is to have this in person. It's mildly transparent. It's still opaque, but it's mildly transparent. Like you can, see light through it and that kind of stuff. So I want it to be a bit more solid in color. So these parts here will be more solid in color, and might end up going ahead, and the only part that doesn't need to have paint is this part here, this little nubbin, which I can scratch the paint off and So I might go ahead and do that, but because this will glue up into the top part of the corridor. But so I need to get these painted. I will be priming these and making sure that I paint them the same, more or less the same as what I did the floor on the main hall. I'll probably be putting, if this goes like this, which it does, I'll probably be putting like darker bit through here where you'd walk most often, and like this, and then like that, because this part here would actually go down to where the boarding ramp is. So you would see steps going this way, right? So I'm going to do that, and we'll do a slight faded kind of passageway to the gun turrets, because I'm guessing you don't go that way very often, but it'll be just slight. So this part will be a little bit different. Now I'm going to try to come up with that. The other thing is almost all the pictures, well, all the pictures that you see of this corridor, and let me show you a picture right here. So you can see that there's wires and that kind of stuff through here. So one of the things I know is we will be putting those foam rubber pads on here that these had. So those pads will be going on here. But this one didn't have a pad, so I need to be able to put something here to simulate those wires and all that kind of stuff. And that part I'm not real sure how I'm going to accomplish yet. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is go ahead, get these pieces primed and ready to go, and I'll start figuring out how I'm going to do this. I may hold off on actually attaching this until we absolutely have to. But I will get these all put together, and then we'll just finish that part up. So with that, let me go take care of the priming, the cleaning, the priming, and all that kind of stuff. And when we come back, I'll probably be putting these together. So we'll do that. We'll get these parts put together, and we'll see about what we're going to do that, if we're going to do it now or wait. So I'll see you after a bit. Okay, welcome back everybody. So I've gone through and I've cut all of these and cleaned the ends and cleaned them. So, and I've also painted these. So I don't know if you guys can see this. So you can see how the middle, you can see a little bit of shine on it, but I painted the outsides and the edges here. Mostly because I didn't want the shine on them. So those are done. The walkway is drying, and I need to get these put on. So funny little story about these. So you notice there was some in this little container here, and I dumped them out. When I was washing these, I bought this colander because little things like this would work great in it, right? So I could rinse it and all that kind of stuff. Problem is that these things are so small that water still pools on here, and these things will stick to it. So I have this tub, and that I was trying to get them into out of the colander, because I put them in the tub to wash them and rinse them and all that kind of stuff. Well, then after I rinse them with regular water, I rinse them with some purified water, just to make sure that I rinse off all the hard water and that kind of stuff. We have fairly hard water here. Well, there's 54. There's 3 sets of 18. That's 54 of these little things. Turns out that 23 of them went down the drain while I was shifting stuff around, and so that sucked. Luckily, as I've mentioned before, my brother had some sets, and so I was able to cut. I took one full set, and then I cut 5 more off to get me 23, and so that should give me enough for all of these. So these are ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and start getting these put on. I don't have my tape here to put my glue on. I'm going to go grab my tape and do all that, and then we will get going on these. This will probably be fast forwarded, sped up, as it were. You still got to watch it, but you'll get to listen to some awesome music while I do it. All right, so let's get ready to do this. So here we go. Here's the walkway. You can see it's painted. That side, that's what the normal color is, and that's the painted side. So this is the same color that I painted the walls and all that kind of stuff. I mentioned how I was going to do, like, for the walkway. I'm going to wait until I get more of them put together, I think, or at least see what's going on in issue 17, because I may want to try to make sure that I get these walkway parts going in these other directions evened out. So we'll probably hold off on painting that part later. So let's go ahead and get started with this. All right, there's one. So I'm just kind of curious. While we're prepping for the second one, first of all, I didn't mention why I didn't want to paint this. I'm sure a lot of you already know, because unpainted surfaces glue better. So I wanted to make sure that the middle part where the glue actually goes was left unpainted. So that way these will stick on there, and that's also why I don't do any kind of painting of these before I get going. But um, I will, touch them up after the fact, make sure they're appropriately nasty looking. So, but I wanted to know, recently my brother got me started listening to podcasts. I've always, not always, but last several years, I've listened to audiobooks when driving to work, and kind of ran out of audiobooks, mostly because my brother discovered that he likes listening to podcasts. And so he started listening to podcasts. And the reason why this is important is because um, he was the one buying all the audiobooks, and I was just download them from his iTunes so I could listen to them. And we've listened to several of the Star Wars books, the new Thrawn series. Listen to those, and some of the older Star Wars books, and even some of the newer ones. And um, but recently, because he started listening to podcasts, when I ran out of audiobooks to listen to, um, I also started listening to podcasts. And there's a Star Wars channel called Star Wars Newsnet. It's not a channel, but a website, and StarWarsNewsNet.com. So if you're interested in Star Wars news, they talk about the movies and the books and the comic books and the TV shows and all things Star Wars, right? I mean, they even talk about some of the toys and stuff that are coming out. Well, I've been going to that website since before The Force Awakens came out, probably shortly after um, Disney bought Lucasfilm. I've been going there, and so they recently, and I don't know how long ago, a couple years I think actually, started a podcast, and I, kind of listened to a couple of them, but it's hard to listen to. Um, I do a lot of YouTube viewing when I'm at work. Mostly it's in the background, type of thing. That way I can still work, but I got something that I can kind of still catch, And so um, I'd kind of caught some of their podcasts, but not a lot. At work, well then, because I started listening to more podcasts, I've been listening to their podcast, and I'm kind of went back a little ways on listening to, probably ones from I think they do one or two a week. I can't quite remember. And so I've gone back a little ways to listen to some of them, and just found the ones that I wanted to listen to. Some of my, no real interest in or whatever. But I enjoy it. But I'm curious if there's if you guys listen to podcasts, what kind of podcast do you guys listen to, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So if you feel like it, leave me a comment. Tell me what podcast you listen to, because I'd be kind of interested. And if there's more than one that you listen to, if there's a genre that you listen to, or anything like that. I'm sure that a lot of the people here on my channel, you guys are also gamers, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of you guys listen to a gaming podcast or something like that, which is cool. But I'm just kind of curious, so let me know in the comments. Now, after saying all that, I'm going to go ahead and speed this back up again. So, time for warp speed. Okay, there's two. So, I wanted to kind of mention, I still think this is a great idea. I just need a bigger dish to put them in, so that way I don't have to worry about it falling out into the sink. There we go. All three are done. That's something interesting. The little nipples. Okay, they do all line up. So it doesn't really matter which one goes where. So these will go something like this in here. Something like this. Like that. So, yeah. Now the key is, as we saw, the little nipples go a certain direction. I don't know if it's inside or outside, so this would be on the inside, that would be on the outside. So I don't know how that goes on. Maybe the book will tell me. Let's have a quick look. Let me get rid of this glue so I don't stick something in the glue. Okay. So as we put them together, okay, so it tells you put the floor on the thing, and then take the first corridor hoop and align it with the end of the corridor as shown. Okay. The end of the arch have end of the ends of the arch have dovetails that fit matching sockets on the floor. Yeah, that's good. Press the ends of the second arch into the place and press the third. But it doesn't tell you where to line the pins up, so that's important. Kind of looks like on the inside. I'm not sure. So, I don't know. But I can tell you that I'm not going to put this floor on just yet, so that means these hoops aren't going to go on just yet. We will go ahead and do the framework because it's just right here and we can get it done. So let me gather that up and we will get that knocked out. As far as the the bottom part of the floor, the corridor, I'm going to paint part of that because there's padding that goes on there, and I want to make sure that it's painted underneath. So I haven't decided if I'm just going to paint the whole thing or try to just paint where that padding is going to be exposed. But I'm just going to hold off on that just for the moment until I get a better idea of what's coming up. So let me grab the rest of the framework and we'll get that put together. Okay, let's have a quick look. How much of the frame are we putting on? We're just putting on the one piece. Yes, and it's going to get screwed to the rib piece that's there, so that's easy enough. We just need like 2 screws to hold it in place. So let's just get our screws here, and this is going to go on this end, and we'll get this put on. So they give you 3 screws in this issue, and we're only using 2, so extra goes into the screw container. So that's easy enough. Stick these other 2 up here so they don't fall off. All right. There we go. So there's more of the frame done. We did our arches, and I painted the floor, just the base coat of the paint. And our arches are all done. I embarrassed myself by losing nearly half of all of those little pads. Luckily, I still had a bunch from the extra ones from my brother, so I didn't have to worry too much, but it's definitely something I'm going to be definitely paying attention to. I'll get myself a bigger container for washing the stuff out in. A good idea might be to plug the thing, but I run in so much water through to rinse it off, it would just kind of leak through. So, yeah. All right. So this is actually going to be everything. Let me get this out of the road. It's, as you can see, it's arched. It rocks. So it doesn't quite sit so well on things. So that is everything. Of course, they want you to put some of the parts on. I'm not going to put the hull plating on. I've gone over that before. But that is everything at the moment that I'm going to do. We'll do some more of it later after we figure out what's going on. So in issue 17, we're going to get more of the corridor, and I wonder if this corridor is part of that goes into, what do you call it? It could be the top, the ceiling part, or it could be part that goes into the cockpit corridor. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out in issue 17. And here's some of the padding, so that'll be good. So that way we can kind of figure out how that's going to go on and where we're going to put it and everything. So I guess we'll call that good for issue 16, and I will see you back when we do the bonus for issue 16. Just do this. There we go. My camera started slowing down. We don't want that. So I'll see you when we come back for the bonus. And with that, I'll say thanks for watching, and I hope you're all having a great day. May the force be with you always.